So for tonight's tipple, I thought I would visit the Macallan distillery in Craigellachie in the Speyside district of Scotland, and the special tasting rooms that you can see behind me, a 1926 Macallan. How excited would you be to taste that one? I know I would. Tonight we're going to be tasting this 15-year-old Macallan. It's a fine oak, very unusual for the Macallan distillery. So I'm excited to be opening this 15-year-old fine oak Macallan. Very unusual for the Macallan distillery. It's actually discontinued, quite hard to get this bottle now. So this should be an exciting bottle to open. So the first thing to note about this Macallan fine oak is the difference in colour. And I brought this 18-year-old sherried version as a comparison so that you could see the difference. Much lighter, although they have sherried treated oak casks, as well as bourbon treated oak casks. But the traditional Macallan, much more darker, sherried look and indeed taste. So here we go. Taking this 15-year-old fine oak off the specialty tasting shelf here. And we're going to open this up. And I have a glass here. First thing first, beautiful cork, lovely smell. So the first thing to look at is obviously the colour. You can see that in the bottle, and I showed you that earlier, but let's pour this out and get a sense. So much lighter colour, not quite the same stickiness to the sides of the glass tumbler. And I would imagine a lot of oak sentiments in there in terms of the colour. So having looked at the colour and the body, now we go for the nose, then we'll focus on the palate, and finally the finish. And that nose, you can taste a little bit of the sherry coming through. There's clearly some dried fruits, maybe a little bit of dried prunes, and that oak pushing through with a little bit of vanilla. So now we move to the palate and the finish. The palate is the taste as you get it initially, and then the finish as it runs down the back of your throat. Oh, truly delightful. You can taste that malted barley. There's clearly a hint of sherry. You can see that accent that they've added with the sherry treatment on the casks. Maybe a hint of bourbon, tasting a little bit of raisins there, and it bursts with this complexity of demerara sugar and the malted barley. And then the finish, just truly delightful. Really quite an unusual Macallan, not something you would expect from them. The sherry is coming through, but not in the same fashion that it traditionally does, and it gives you this long, warm feeling that just goes on and on. Doesn't burn as it goes down despite having a relatively high alcohol content. I'd give this definitely 9 out of 10. Sláinte.